I can restore my server or any data by going back in the Windows Server Backup utility, and I'm going to choose Recover under the Actions pane. So this will let me choose where the backup is stored. I'm going to leave the default there, and I'm going to click Next. It gives me a calendar, so if I know I perform backups nightly, I could choose any day that I want to restore. I'm going to just leave it on the previous backup we created on the 26th. I'll choose Next for that. Then it asks me what I would like to restore. Files and folders, entire volumes, C drive, D drive, and all the contents, just applications, or the system state data, which would consist of applications and the operating system, but any personal data you created would not be part of the system state data. Well, I'm going to choose files and folders. So next for that, it lets me see my backup. So I have the RTS DC1 we backed up, and it gives me all the drives on that machine, including the C drive. When I expand the C drive, I have the HR folder, the marketing folder I created earlier, the sales data folder. Well, I'm going to choose sales data. Well, notice the items to recover, there's actually nothing in that sales data folder. So before you even recover something, it'll actually show you the contents of what it is that you want to recover. So if I select program files, I can see all the content. My perf logs, that's an empty folder. The advantage of that is you can be sure that you are restoring the correct version. For anything I select, if I choose my desktop, I can see anything that was on the desktop at a certain time, documents, favorites, just anything in the user profile, and I can also see when any of that content was modified. All that furthers the ability to make sure we are restoring the correct version of data. But whatever I select, I can choose Next. It'll ask me if I want to restore this to the original location or to another location. If you choose the original location, the one concern is that you may overwrite data you do not intend to overwrite. For example, if I restore a folder, and that folder has hundreds of files in it, if some of those files have been deleted, and I want to restore the deleted files, my concern is if I just say restore this folder, well, the files that have not been deleted would be overwritten through the backup. So they give us a few ways to address that. Original location we choose, and create copies of files so you have both versions. What that applies to is this line above. When the wizard finds items in the backup that are already in the recovery destination. So if a file exists, it will not overwrite the file, but it'll restore the backup copy of that file. You have two versions. Now the downside to that is someone still has to go through all the versions of these files and compare to see which version they actually want. So if you have a lot of files, that is not an efficient means of recovery. Overwrite the existing version with the recovered version. Sometimes that's what you want to do. If ill-advised changes have been made and you want to overwrite that and the version I'm restoring from hours or days ago, I may want that to be the version you actually use. Also interesting, the third option, do not recover items that already exist on the recovery destination. If I know some files have been deleted and I only want to restore deleted files, I don't want to overwrite anything that already exists, then I would choose do not recover items that already exist, only ones that do not exist. I also have the option to restore the permissions, read, write, modify, full control, so we could select or deselect that. But if I click Next, I would select Recover and it would restore all these items from the backup.